Welcome back. We get a bonus episode this week of Franchise Hockey Manager 7. I had a little extra spare time today after I finished recording my Draft Day Sports video and have decided to jump in and do one more Franchise Hockey Manager video this week. So you're going to get one today. You'll probably get one on Friday and then one on Saturday. Draft Day Sports. Actually, this probably won't be posted until Tuesday. It's Monday right now. So Tuesday, Friday, Saturday for Franchise Hockey Manager. Then Draft Day Sports will be Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, I think is the plan. I'm thinking about adding a third game. Thinking about adding out of the park baseball once the next one, 2022, or Out of the Park Baseball 22, whatever it's going to be called, comes out, just because that's what everybody does. So I guess I'll probably do it too. But at any rate, we are talking Boston Bruins hockey right now. It is September 22nd. We are through the rest of the offseason. We are up to preseason. And there were some moves that we made since we talked last. The big move that we made initially was to sign, and I don't want to show you everything yet because I don't want it all to show up. Of course, I just did it there, and I did it there because I keep clicking on the wrong button. So if you were quick, you saw what I did. But Sean Couturier was our big free agent signing on day 2 of the free agent window. We lost Patrice Bergeron to retirement. So we signed Sean Couturier to a 6-year, about a $10 million a year contract to center Marchand and Marchand and Pastrnak for the next half decade. In addition to that, we were able to sign Bill Yalov, who was the Russian goaltender. We're going to stash him in Providence this year in case somebody gets hurt. Dan Vladar's not quite ready. And we did sign Eric Gustafsson, who is going to be a 6th/7th defenseman. He'll probably rotate with Vakanainen. And then we have a solid offensive defenseman should somebody get hurt. So we made those 2 moves. So let's delete that. And let's take a look at... So we signed a couple of people. We signed Jeremy Swayman to a 3-year contract, $900,000 a year. And we did re-sign Mackenzie Blackwood as well. We signed Blackwood to a 3-year, $6.75 million contract. The 25-year-old led us to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals last year, so we bring him in. And then we signed David Pastrnak to a huge deal as well, 6 years, $60 million. So we got a lot of money locked up in Couturier and Pastrnak. Hopefully that doesn't come back and bite us in the ass down the road. We do still have some players that we are going to have to think about moving on from at the end of this upcoming season. If you look at our upcoming free agents, nope, I don't want to show you that because you'll see the one deal we made. So I'll show you the big deal we made first. If you like I said, if you caught, actually, we're going to keep doing some of this other stuff. So Vincent Damphus, Rod Brindamore, Daniel Alfredson, and Doug Mons made the Hall of Fame this year. So that's nice. Let's see. Trade between Dallas and Calgary. Roop Hintz traded for Justin Cote. So Calgary picks up a 3-star center for an 18-year-old prospect. The top 3 picks all signed contracts with their teams, so they'll be potentially in the NHL this year, if not in the minors. Carolina and Buffalo, that's a nothing deal. Anaheim and Boston. We ended up having to move Craig Smith. We moved him for a 3rd-round pick. We had to get the contract off the books. Probably could have got more for him if I did some digging, but the stuff I looked at, most of the teams weren't willing to give up. A prospect that I felt I wouldn't be able to draft one that would be better. Like I felt like, if I can get I got a high 3rd-round pick from an Anaheim team that's not very good. So that should allow me to pick up somebody better than what I was going to get for Smith. Smith was really good in the postseason last season for us. Wasn't very good during the regular season, and was only making about $3.5 million. But I had to move the contract, so we traded Craig Smith. It's Anders Bjork, the former Bruin, is on the move again from Columbus to San Jose this time. That's why I kept this one. And now we're finally on to the big extra move of the offseason, where we traded Dominic Bach to the San Jose Sharks, along with Mason Lowry and a third-round pick in 2025 for Timo Meier. We didn't want to move on from Bach, but he's never going to be very good defensively, which means he's not going to have a big spot in our lineup. I didn't want to give up Lowry, 1.5 star, 3 star, but they wouldn't really take anybody else. And then we had to part with a third-round pick as well in 2025. Now, the other problem here is that Timo Meier also makes a ton of money. I don't know that we're going to be able to keep him beyond this year. You can see his cap hit is $6 million. He's making $10 million this year. And if we look at what we want to get for a contract back, he wants a $10 million contract. We all know I can't have 3 players making $10 million a year. And that's partially my fault. I didn't spend a lot of time looking at how much Meier made. I just saw that he was in the last year of his contract, and I went for it. So you can see Meier's at 10, Couturier's at 9, Pasternak, starting next year will be at 10, Marchand at 5, Coyle at 4.5, Kasha at 3.5. So there are some players in here that we may have to move on from. Jake DeBrusk is a UFA. It's entirely possible that we may move on from him, depending on the type of year that he has versus the year that Meier has. We might have to look at moving on from Charlie Coyle and giving one of these youngsters an opportunity to move up. Defensively, we don't have a ton of money lined up in our top 4, I guess, is making decent money. Matt Grzelcyk is somebody we could potentially look to move on from. So this year is going to be interesting. We really improved our offense picking up Meier. Obviously losing Bergeron isn't going to help, but Couturier should soften the blow there, and then picking up Timo Meier gives us additional depth. So, so that's the move we made in the offseason. Those are the rest of the moves. So this year's going to be interesting. We are going to have some decisions to make financially, and some of them could be tough, but we'll do it. We signed Beecher, Newhook, Gunther, all to contracts. Dylan Gunther's probably going to get sent back to the WHL. I just don't have any room for him right now. He's not going to make the Bruins out of camp, and his ratings are still, that defense is still a little light for me. Newhook is probably going to start in Boston or Providence. I'm not really sure yet. Beecher is probably going to start in Boston or Providence. Eklund is going to start with the Bruins, more than likely. Robert Kalisti is with the big club, but he's probably going to start in Providence as well. So that's kind of where we stand. If we look at our depth chart, we're pretty loaded. Let's see where we stand in terms of prospect rankings. So Dylan Gunther is the 16th rated prospect in the NHL. We have number 16. Eklund is 31. Let's do it like this. So we got 1, 2. So we only have 2 of the top 100 forwards. Defensively, we have nothing. So we have 2 of the top 100. That's a bit surprising. I thought we'd have more than that. We're 21st. So Gunther is 16th, Eklund's 31st, Newhook's 108th, Kamel 151st, and Quinn Olsen 161st. So it's a bit surprising, but that's okay. We go to the roster. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 defensemen dressed. I think I'm going to bench Gustafson for the preseason and let Vakanainen get some playing time. Same thing with Pelech, get Kalisti some playing time. See if those guys can develop, because obviously Gustafsson and Pellick are going to make the team, so I'm not worried about that. Let's see. Anything we want to do here? I think we're good. Maybe give Wagner. I gave Marchand a break, so maybe we'll do that and bring in Studnicka. Yeah, I don't really care what the lines look like in the... wait a second. What did I do? Oh, I still don't have enough players dressed. Let's go ahead and dress Wagner, I guess. I don't really care what the lines look like in the preseason. So it's got DeBrusk, Couturier, Pasternak, Corrali, Larson, Meyer, Wagner, Eklund, Kasha, Newhook, Studnicka, Beecher. That's fine. That could be a fun line. So, yeah, we're going to sim ahead to, I guess, opening day. And then we'll play that first game. And it's going to be a bit of a quick episode, but I wanted to get into opening day. So we will get to opening day. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. And it was pretty interesting. There was a, you can see here, the Rangers waived Alexander Georgiev, so we put in a claim for him. We don't really need him, but especially, I mean, I guess we could put Vladar on waivers now, and we'll run with Georgiev as our backup goaltender, I guess. I mean, it seems to make the most sense to me. We got to send 2 players down. Meyer and McAvoy are both day-to-day. So if we look at the overall, so actually defensemen, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 8 defensemen, so it makes sense to send one of them down, and that's going to be Kalisti. So we'll move him down. And then we have to send 1 forward down. So if we look at the ratings, Eklund, Newhook, Gunther, and Beecher are all 2 stars, so it's going to be one of them. Newhook, I think, probably gets the shot. I think it's going to be Dylan Gunther. He's going to go back to Edmonton this year, just like I said. And we will run here. This is what we'll run with for a roster. So defenseman... Let's go this way. We have Pellick, Grzelcyk, Bean, McAvoy, Gustafsson, Carlo, Vakanainen. So I think Vakanainen's going to start off on the bench, and we're going to go Pellick, Grzelcyk, Bean, Gustafsson, McAvoy, and Carlo as our defensemen. Forwards. So I need to bench 2 forwards. Studnicka's up to 2.5 star. I mean, from a star perspective, it makes the most sense to bench Beecher, Eklund, or Newhook. 14, 13, 14, 13, 14, 13, 14, 14, 14, 12, 15, 14. So I think we're going to start off by benching Eklund just because our scouting isn't exactly where it needs to be. So we'll start Eklund. We'll get Meyer back in there. We got to get Coyle back in there, obviously. I think it's going to be Wagner, actually. We're going to bench Wagner. And we're going to make Coyle. And we're going to make Corrali, because I love me some Sean Corrali. Probably more than I should, but we're going to make him the alternate. All right, so we have our dressed players. Let's go ahead and set the lines. Clear lines. So we're going to go Couturier, Marchand, Pasternak, and the second line is going to be Coyle, Meyer, and DeBrusk. And then our third line is going to be Kasha with Larson and... Who's the left wing on that line? 2, 3, 4. Is it going to be Newhook or Beecher? It's going to be Beecher. And then the fourth line will be Studnicka, Corrali, And actually, it's got to be. I got to do it the other way. I got to do it like this because Beecher can play both. So, Marchand, Couturier, Pasternak, DeBrusk, Coyle, Meyer, Newhook, Larson, Kasha, Kuraly, Studnicka, Beecher. So if we look at, I'm okay with that, a 20, a 20, and a 17. DeBrusk, he's fine as a sniper. I don't necessarily want Coyle as a grinder. Let's make Coyle a power forward. And Timo Meyer, it's fine as a two-way forward. Newhook, make Newhook a playmaker. Larson, he's the defensive forward of the team, so Shadow's fine. And then Kasha, counterattacking forward. Yeah, Kasha, I don't know if I want to pay my third line right wing $4 million a year. I guess we'll just have to see. Studnicka, going to be a playmaker. He's going to have Kuraly on one side and Beecher on the other. There's not going to be a lot of scoring out of that line, but it should be fun nonetheless. Defensively, we're going to go Pelech and McAvoy again. Our second D pairing will be Carlo and Gustafsson. Got an offensive defenseman and a defensive defenseman. And then Grzelcyk and Bean will be our... and then Blackwood and Georgiev. So shootouts, we're going to go Meyer first, then Pasta, then DeBrusk, then Kasha, then Marchand. Extra attackers, Couturier and Pasternak. All right, so that works. So we go to the power play. And so Couturier, Marchand, Pasternak. And we'll just throw them down here as well. No, not DeBrusk, Marchand. And then here we'll go Couturier and here. And then Coyle, DeBrusk, and Timo Meyer. Same deal. Meyer, Coyle, DeBrusk, Marchand, and then 4-on-3, Couturier and Marchand, Coyle, and yeah, we're actually going to do that. I like that better. We're going to go 3 forwards on both. We're going to go with Gustafsson as the point there and McAvoy with the point there. I got a couple of good offensive defensemen to play the point on our power play. So we can run 5 forwards if we wanted to, but I don't want to. So what forward do I want out there? Kasha, I think, is going to be out there on one. And then Studnicka as the other. So that works. So we'll run 4 forwards on each. And I hope I'm recording. Yeah, I am. Okay. I'm going to do this every episode. So Marchand, Couturier, Pasternak, Kasha, Gustafsson, DeBrusk, Coyle, Meyer, Studnicka, McAvoy as our power play units. Penalty killing, it's going to be Marchand and Couturier as the main forwards. And then Johan Larson, which is the whole reason we brought him in, with Kuraly. And then Beecher or I guess Coyle and Beecher can be the third. I like that. Pelech and McAvoy. Oops. Pelech and McAvoy. Carlo and Gustafsson, and then Bean and Grzelcyk. And I don't want Bean and Grzelcyk out there much. I'm going to do that. I'd rather have Pelech and McAvoy out there for like all of it. And the 5-on-3 will go Couturier and Larson. Couturier and Larson. Pelech, McAvoy, Carlo, Grzelcyk. Carlo, Grzelcyk. Pelech, McAvoy. And then 4-on-4, 4-on-3. Couturier and Marchand with Coyle, and Pasta. Couturier and Coyle. When we go 3-on-3, we're gonna go 2 forwards. So Couturier and Marchand, Pasternak, and Coyle with McAvoy. Let's put McAvoy there as well. And Gustafsson. Put Gustafsson there. Pelech and Carlo. And then goalie starts. We're going to start the backup goalie occasionally. Set it on 3. Start the best goalie. Nah. Start the goalie. We always start alternate goalies in back-to-back games. Best rested, hottest. I'm not necessarily concerned about hotness. I just don't want them to wear out. We don't necessarily care if they start again after a shutout. And those are our lines, I believe. Yep. Marchand, Couturier. Yep, I already read through them. I'm not going to read through them again. Oops, I just banged my elbow. Let's see. Did anything else happen while we were gone? So we have to assign numbers. Yeah, so Newhook wants 18. Beecher wants 17. Fine. Ekman Larson re-signed with Arizona. After all that, he re-signs with the Coyotes. Wild waived Kaapo Kapanen. Isaac Lundestrom waived by the Ducks. The other player I considered picking up, and I don't see him on here, was Isaac Ratcliffe. He was waived by New Jersey. New Jersey? I think it's whoever he played for. I think it was New Jersey, but I don't see him on here. So, these guys all need to claim waivers. They were right here. Isaac Ratcliffe. Yeah, there we go. Flyers. Yeah, Flyers, not New Jersey. Flyers. All right. So I think that's everything. Training. Do we have a training camp report? Right there. Ivanov got better. Newhook got better. Beecher got better. Swayman, Olsen, Eklund got a lot better. Mackenzie Blackwood got better. A lot of positives out of training camp. Marchand and Corrali both dropped. That's fine. Cool. All right. So we are going to play our first game of the year. So let's play to our next game, which is on the 9th. We'll come back for that one. We'll play the game, and that will be that. All right, it is time for hockey. And we lost Dan Vladar. He was claimed by the Chicago Blackhawks, which is fine. We were able to pick up a better goalie who's just a year older, so I think we're okay there. Season preview, we are a challenger team. We're not expected to land in any of the other top 3 categories. Trade proposal, Jonathan Aspero for Trent Frederick. No, we'll reject that. So we're going to be taking on Nashville in the first game of the season. So I'm going to save this real quick, and then we will play Nashville. All right, so let's play Nashville. So we go in Marchand, Couturier, Pasternak, DeBrusk, Coyle, Meyer, Newhook, Larson, Kasha, Corrali, Studnicka, Beecher. On the back line, Pelech, McAvoy, Gustafsson, Carlo, Grzelcyk, and Bean, with Mackenzie Blackwood in goal. For the Predators, Connor Ingram gets the start in goal. No Juicy Saros in there anywhere. So Connor Ingram getting the start for Nashville. So let's play this hockey game. See if we can win our first game of the season at home at the TD North Garden. it's going to take me a minute to get used to not seeing 37 in between 63 and 88. I saw 41 there for a second. I was like, who is that? So Sean Couturier, starting center for the Bruins. So Nashville's gotten off to a bit of a hot start. We get our first shot on goal there, and Ingram holds on to it. A couple shots don't make it through. Bruins shot by DeBrusk, and that one is kicked out. It's cleared out of play. Stolen away by the Bruins, cleared in deep. Alex Newhook with his first shift as a Boston Bruin. Picked him up for Tuukka Rask at the trade deadline of season number 1. And there's a save by Ingram. Breakaway by Nashville is turned away by Blackwood. Held on to off the stick of Pasternak. That one doesn't make it through, and the Bruins ice it. Another icing. And it appears as though Couturier was being double shifted for some reason. Shot goes wide. Bruins are able to get it out of the zone. Shot saved by Kasha. That one's held on to off the stick of Couturier. Shot from the point by the fourth line, and that one's cleared out of play. I feel like we're set up pretty well. We've got a good mix of scoring and defensive forwards. Our defense is pretty good. We're pretty deep at defense, if not great. Goaltending is okay. If Blackwood's up to a 3.5 stars, so I feel like we're in pretty good shape. Who knows what's going to happen, but I feel like we're in pretty good shape as a team. No score here early, though. Puck deflected out of play. Couturier wins the draw, but Nashville takes over. Shot by Pasternak goes wide. Rebound held onto by Ingram, and that one is iced. Doesn't make it through. And that shot is blocked, and Meyer is able to get it back in. Saved by Ingram. Gets it out of the zone. Blocked by McAvoy. Cleared into the seats. Shot from the point doesn't make it through. Yeah, we are going to have some money problems, I think, towards the end of this season. And I certainly don't want to do what the Blackhawks are currently doing, having half their payroll tied up in 4 players. We've got some depth that will allow us to, I don't want to say go cheap, but go young is probably the better way of looking at it. Go young at some of those third and fourth line positions. As the first period ends, we outshoot them 9-7, no score. Yeah, that's why I'm unsure that I can pay Andre Kasha what we're paying him on the third line, or Charlie Coyle as we score. There we go. 30 seconds into the second period. Brandon Carlo from Eric Gustafson and Alex Newhook picks up his first point in his first game, and we lead 1-0. We've got some youngsters that we're gonna need to start to break in, and I don't know that I can afford, like I said, Kasha where he is, or even Coyle on as my second line center. If Newhook comes along this year, or Beecher comes along this year, or Eklund comes along this year, any one of them, as Nashville ties it just 2 minutes later. Frederick Ayard from Nick Patan and Tage Thompson, 1-1. That didn't take long. Any one of them could move into that second line center, or even Jack Studnicka, who's 2.5 stars right now. So we have some opportunities with some young players as Frederick Allard or Ayard goes 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. So I'm not really sure what we're going to do long term, but I know that we're not going to be able to afford Timo Meier and Jake DeBrusk and Andre Kasha, and as DeBrusk goes 2 minutes for cross-checking. So Nashville kills off the power play. They're going to have a 2-minute power play of their own, or a minute 58 rather. So yeah, we're definitely going to have some decisions to make with some of those mid-level contracts. Obviously, Pasternak's not going anywhere. Marchand's not going anywhere. McAvoy, Couturier's not going anywhere. I'd like to bring Meier back. I'd hate to think that we gave up all that for 1 year of him. But I don't want to feel forced to sign him long term. We'll just sort of have to wait and see how the season plays out and see if that contract demand comes down at all. And then, as we get close to the trade deadline, we're going to have to consider what we want to do there, as I don't want to lose DeBrusk for nothing. I don't want to lose Meier for nothing. So if I don't feel like I can sign them, maybe we have to think about turning around and flipping them. Someone like Meier could bring a huge haul, I would think. I mean, I know he can because we had to give up a fairly large haul for him, but DeBrusk is another one at only 25 could bring back a pretty large return. So we're going to have some decisions to make. 1-1 here midway through the second period. Brandon Carlo, the only goal of the game for the Bruins, from Newhook and Gustafsson. Saved by Blackwood. Shot saved by Ingram. Shot saved by Ingram. Bruins get it back in, turn it over, and it's iced by Nashville. Marchand wins the draw. Shot from the point is saved by Ingram. Both offenses being shut down for the most part. Good goaltender play in the first game of the year. DeBrusk shot held onto by Ingram. And Dante Fabro going to go 2 minutes for holding. So we have a power play with exactly 2 minutes left in the period. Save by off the stick of Pastrnak. Save off the stick of Couturier. Save off the stick of DeBrusk. And that will end the second period. We pepper Connor Ingram in that second period. We're out shooting Nashville 23-13. It is tied at 1, however. So we go to the third. Going to start the season 1-0. Nashville with the puck behind the net. And the wraparound. Nashville. Claude Giroux. The Nashville veteran, Claude Giroux, did not see that coming from Fabro and Allard. Gives Nashville a 2-1 lead. Well, that's a little disappointing. Still plenty of time. Connor Ingram has stifled us thus far, though. Save by Blackwood. Couple saves by Blackwood. The Bruins get the puck out. 15:44 left. We now trail. Held onto off the stick of Meier. Shot by Carlo. Couturier has it. Shot on goal. No good. Or no good. It's probably the wrong term, but saved. Held on to by Ingram again. Connor Ingram having a whale of a game. DeBrusk couldn't get the shot off, and Predators going off sides. Ooh, that was close. Puck is deflected out of play. Face off to the right of Ingram. Bruins win the draw. And Tage Thompson's going to go 2 minutes for high sticking, and we go on the power play. Again, we're 0 for 2 so far. That one's held on to by Ingram. Face off to his right. And Nashville's able to clear it out. Couturier, puck deflects out of play. Dante Fabro is going to go 2 minutes for high sticking. So we're 2 men up for 1:06 here. This is our opportunity to get back into this one. And we do, just like that. David Pastrnak on the power play from Sean Couturier has tied this one at 2, and we are still a man up for the next 1:50. Face off won by the Predators. Bruins bring it right back in. Shot, score! Timo Meier from DeBrusk and Grzelcyk on the power play. 2 goals less than 2 minutes apart have given us a 3-2 lead. So a couple of power play goals in the third period. David Pastrnak, Timo Meier each scoring. And another goal by Pastrnak. 3 goals in a matter of, we'll look at the box score afterwards, but 3 goals in probably about 2.5 minutes. Pastrnak from Couturier. Couturier with 2 assists in his debut as a member of the Bruins. So it's been a quality third period here for Boston. 4-2. Fabro is going to go for unsportsmanlike conduct. That's another penalty on Dante Fabro. That's 3 penalties on him in this game. Another power play for the Bruins. Pasternak's looking for that hat trick. And he doesn't get the hat trick. Sean Couturier from Gustafsson and Marchand. Sean Couturier, a 3-point game here in his first game as a member of the Bruins. The 4th goal of the third period. Eric Gustafsson with a couple of assists for the Bruins in his debut as well. 3 power play goals in the third period for Boston. Face off to the right of Blackwood. That one's iced by Boston. Bruins are able to get the puck out of their zone. And it looks like Connor Ingram got pulled. That's a little rough. He was really good through the first 2 periods. Struggled here in the third, and it looks like Juuse Saros is going to get some time here in the third period. Makes a couple of saves. We're down to the 4-minute mark of the third period. 5-2 Bruins. Breakaway opportunity by Pastrnak. There's the hat trick for David Pastrnak. Sean Couturier and Jake Bean get the assist. Pastrnak with the hat trick on opening night. It's 6-2 Boston. 5 third period goals for the Bruins. Offense just exploded here in period number 3. Puck deflected out of play. 2 minutes left. Couple of shots, and that one gets through Blackwood. Claude Giroux again from Victor Arvidsson and Matt Duchene. And it's 6-3 Boston. It's a bit of a bummer. Blackwood would have had a save percentage of 900 for the game. Now it's going to look like a pretty crummy game. 17 shots, 3 goals on 20 shots. That's okay. A win's a win's a win. Last 20 seconds. Save by Blackwood. Save by Saros. And that will do it. We double up Nashville 6-3 on the heels, or I guess on the back of a 5-goal third period. We'll take a look at the box score. So Brandon Carlo, 34 seconds into the second period from Gustafsson and Newhook, gave us a 1-0 lead. 2.5 minutes later, or 2 minutes later, Frederick Ayard from Nick Patan and Tage Thompson would tie it. Going into the third, Claude Giroux would score a minute into the third period to give Nashville a 2-1 lead. But then the Bruins would score 5 goals in 6 minutes, including 3 goals a minute 7 apart. Pastrnak from Couturier and Kasha, Meier from DeBrusk and Grzelcyk, Pastrnak from Couturier and McAvoy. In a minute and a half would give the Bruins a 3-1 or 3-2 lead. Couturier would score his first from Gustafsson and Marchand. Pastrnak would pick up the hat trick from Couturier and Bean. Giroux would score with just over 2 minutes left, and we win this one 6-3. Oh, they also have Duncan Keith. So we'll take a look at some of these, I think, going into the season. We're in our third season now, so you'll see some changes to some of the rosters. Duncan Keith, Claude Giroux with Nashville now, Jake Muzzin with Nashville. Nobody really had a good game for Nashville. Keith had a 69, Arvidsson had a 67, Duchesne had a 69. Nice for the Bruins. David Pastrnak had an 81 rating. Couturier with a 75. 1 goal, 3 assists for Sean Couturier in his Bruins debut. Pastrnak, of course, with the hat trick. Eric Gustafsson is exactly what you could expect out of him. 69, nice rating overall. Offensive rating of 90, defensive rating of 48. So we're going to have to limit his 5-on-5 play, I think. But overall, pretty good. Blackwood stopped 17 out of 20. Not great, but, it is what it is. Connor Ingram stopped 27 out of 32, was pulled. Juicy Saros came in, gave up a goal on 5 shots. We outshot them 37 to 20. We were 3 of 5 on the power play. So that's it. So we're going to go ahead and stop right there. I don't know what game we're going to play next. I'll probably just sim ahead until I feel like stopping. And then the next episode will be whatever 2 games I feel like playing. So let me know your thoughts. As always, leave a like, leave a subscribe. I appreciate you watching. And until we talk again, everybody take care. Bye-bye.